quite some time, I've wanted to do the 20 Creeks track up near Nundle in New South Wales. So a few mates and I, we planned a 2-day trip, leaving from Singleton, heading up to Nundle, and then on day 2, we were going to ride the 20 Creeks track and then finish up at Gloucester. In our group message forums, there's a lot of chatter about one particular hill, which apparently when it gets wet is as muddy as crap and very difficult to ride. So I decided I wanted to have a look at this hill and just try and work out what was involved. And this is the hill. It sort of runs at the end of a valley and goes over the mountain range. So I checked it out in Google Earth, and the gradient wasn't too bad. It's about 21 degrees, which is not too bad, but 21 degrees with super slippery mud, that's something else. And unfortunately, the forecast was rain for the 4 days leading up to our ride. So with more than 20 creek crossings to navigate and a slippery as hell hill, what could possibly go wrong? So we nicknamed this ride Rumble in the Nundle. We had a very early start because we had a fair way to ride, even to get onto the start of the track. 3 of us were riding up to Singleton from Sydney, and we decided to go up on the old Wallenby Road. And even though we got a little bit of rain here and there, it was a really beautiful ride up. We got to Singleton and we met up with the others, and in fact there's a few more people than I was expecting. To be honest, I do actually prefer riding in smaller groups, but still we met some nice people on the day. The first part of the ride was pretty easy. It was just wide dirt road, and the countryside was absolutely spectacular. But I knew that at the end of this stretch we were going to come to that filthy, muddy hill, and I knew it was going to be wet. So as we approached the slippery, muddy hill, almost on cue it started raining. So we braced ourselves and just waited to see what sort of state this track was going to be in. Now, it was greasy, there's no doubt about that, and very, very slippery. But as far as mud goes, it wasn't that bad. I've been in some pretty diabolical mud conditions. I've been in the red mud, which you can't even walk on, and I've been into the grey mud, which just sticks like clay. But while this was greasy, it was actually quite rideable. Far out. Hey, you're going bush creek.
Have a little off?
Yeah. I was doing like a half a K and it's just like, I couldn't stop it. Just like, lay down.
It was a welcome relief to get back down off that slippery mountain and get back onto firm terrain. We were riding along Stewart's Brook Road, which followed the creek all the way down, and so it only made sense that we were going to have a number of creek crossings. Some of the creeks were pretty easy to cross, but some of the others proved a little bit trickier. At one point, I was actually confused. I thought we might have ended up on the 20 Creeks route that we were planning for Sunday, but no, this is just the prelim. This is the warm-up. This creek had some particularly nasty river rocks in it, and that proved too much for this couple on the African Twin. I had a few messy crossings of my own, and if you think this one looked bad from the outside, check it out from the rider's perspective.
I thought you were going to go off again.
We all made it to Moonan's Flat for a well-deserved lunch. And then after that, it was a nice, fast, easy run to our stop for the night, which was in Nundle.
Whoa, it's just a bit greasy up here.
Sunday morning, it started a bit misty and overcast as we climbed up onto the ridge, but pretty quickly that cleared and we just had a beautiful day, and it was fast, flowy, fun riding on top of the ridge. I think everyone was just in a great mood, and we were all looking forward to the 20 Creeks crossing. But that ride along the ridge, it was a ton of fun. And we were all pushing the pace and really just starting to enjoy ourselves and get ready for the challenges of the creek crossings. We wound our way down the hill into the valley, and we knew that it was only a matter of time now before we started crossing that creek. The scenery was absolutely stunning. I don't think I've seen the New South Wales countryside looking so green for a long, long time. And just riding along through that green countryside with the river alongside us, it was beautiful. And then the crossings began, and they came in all shapes and sizes. We had some, really nice, simple, shallow crossings, and we had some deep, sandy crossings, and we had some long crossings. It was amazing practice for sort of crossing creeks and water. We had a ton of fun crossing each creek, and I think it's fair to say that even Ship and Steel, who is notoriously well known for his hate for water crossings, even started to enjoy it after the 4th or 5th river crossing. We had a few bikes that dropped in the water, but luckily we had no drowned bikes on the trip. So we pretty much completed all of the creek crossings, but there was one more crossing to go. And Jay, who's ridden this track many times, warned us it's very slimy and it's very slippery. So Jay set up laying down to take some photos, waiting for one of us to slip. And as we went across that slippery, slimy crossing, it didn't take long before one of us went foul of it. So with the 20 creeks behind us, now we had just a beautiful run down to Gloucester. And this was about the time I sort of really got into my zone, my zen. And for those that haven't done adventure bike riding, I'll just try and sort of describe how I was feeling at this stage of the ride. We'd completed a really great challenge. I was riding through just stunning, beautiful scenery. And the air temperature, it was just warm, and it was sort of flowing through my jacket and flowing through my helmet. It was just perfect temperature. The bike was just sort of humming underneath. My mind was just focused on the ride. I wasn't thinking about COVID, work, or any other crap. And you really do kind of get into this amazing zone. And then that was punctuated every once in a while by the banter that was coming over the centre. And as the jokes or the comments or the witty remarks would come through, I just found myself bursting out laughing out loud. And that was kind of the mood that I was in for this final part of the ride. Now we did have one final obstacle on our trip. We'd heard that the Barrington Tops Road was closed, and the rumours were that it was due to some sort of road washout. Well, we decided that we were going to just push ahead and explore and just see if we could get around the washout in the bikes. And as it turns out, we couldn't find any washed out roads. There were several logs which looked like they'd been deliberately laid across the road. But it seems to me there was a beautiful little path designed perfectly for bikes. So we could get through each of those obstacles on our bikes, and it was a fantastic way to finish the ride, because that Barrington Forest Road down into Gloucester, it'd have to be one of the most beautiful motorbike rides in the country, I believe.